All right, Shalom Israel, we the I.S.U.P.K. We start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York City. Under Commander General YAHANNA, established in 1969. Teach the truth according to the Bible that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites. Again, we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Today is the Friday Lashawan Qadash class. We want some class participation. So if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section. Today we're going to go into biblical Hebrew names of the nations. We're going to break those down, put them into the Hebrew and Syrian, of course, from the English. That way we can be able to enlighten ourselves on who these other nations are and in correlation to who they are in the Bible. Also how they're written and said in the Hebrew, okay? So if we could, one of y'all brothers, if y'all can just erase the board, and we're gonna start off with the first nation, which is gonna be our nation for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which is Israel. All right, Israel in the English, you can write that on the board, Israel, and then once you're done, if you do know the translation for Israel, write that in the English. Translation Hebrew, and then we'll do it in the Syrian and the ancient. We'll have each brother go up separately at a time and do that. All right. All right. So of course Israel, where it's first talked about in Genesis chapter 25. If we can go there right quick. I'll go there while he's pulling that up. All right, Genesis the 25th chapter. Let's see. Let's start at. Okay, so just Genesis chapter 25, verse, and while he's doing that, like I said, we're gonna pull the scripture. So Genesis 25 and 25. We'll start there. So Genesis 25 and 25 says, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. All right, Esau is going to be one we're going to write up in the board as well, because Esau became Edom. Not right now. Esau became Edom, and Edom became the progenitor of the white nation. All right, so the so-called white nation. So this was Esau. He was born. He came out hairy, red and hairy all over like a garment. And then verse 26 says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. All right, so now, like I said, Esau grabbed the heel of Jacob. Jacob grabbed the heel of Esau, which is a prophecy from Genesis, the creation, when it talked about the serpent. Having enmity with the woman. It's talking about the spirit that says she would be of his heel, and that's what it was talking about. It's talking about Esau and Jacob. All right, so let's just see what the brother has up here right quick. Shar, we want to go up and just make sure everything is correct, and then when it's your turn to go up, we'll have Trooper Kazak do the same for you. Just look through everything, make sure everything looks correct. All right. All right, we got Jamisha, Little John, Shalom, sis, Yahweh, Shamar, Alta, Bashim, Yahushua. So sis, okay, I'm not sure if this is a sister or a brother. That's whose name is Jamisha L. Little John. It sounds like a woman name. I might be mistaken, but if you are a sister, the salute for a sister is Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Al, Atha, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. All right. That's the salute for a sister. All right. So So I'm gonna just put that in there for you. Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Al, Athab, Bashim, Shah. So if you are a sister, this is the salute you want to use from now on. If you are a brother, then the salute that you just wrote is correct. Shalom, Yahweh, Bashim, Shah, Barakatah. That's how brothers salute brothers. All right. All right. So what we got up here, let me know if everything is correct. Sean.
Come. Everything looks swab. Everything looks pretty suave. We got start off with the paleo, Yah independent, the Shah independent, the Ra independent, the La is independent. With the Assyrian, the Assyrian not having the connections right now, but we'll get that. Yah, Shah, Ra, La.
All right. So just for correction in the English, it's gonna be Yah, Shah, Ra, and it's gonna be a AH. All right, because Yah means what? Of, right? Like of is Shar is what? Prince, right? And Allah is power. So Allah is AHLA.
AHLA.
Right.
Okay.
The Shar is one word by itself. Shar is where the connector is for that. You understand? So if you're gonna write it, then of course the connector will be Yashar. All right. So it will be a connector between the Shah and the Ra.
Okay. Boom. Okay. Yeah. Boom. Shah. Boom. One word. Boom.
All right. If you go open the door for him, brother Shah.
Where you at? We got absolute to it. COMCAST.
All right. So now we have it. All right. So we have Yah, Shar, Allah, right? Yah, Shar, Allah. So the Shah and the Ra are connected, and then the Ah and the La is pronounced independently. He's corrected on the other side as well in the Assyrian, and that all looks correct. All right. So we also go to Genesis chapter 32, verse 28. We've already established that Jacob became the progenitor of the Israelites. All right, Israel is the name that he was given in Genesis chapter 32, verse 28. It says, "And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel." All right, so Jacob's name became Israel, and he became the progenitor of the Israelites. When you add the word ites at the end of a word, it means sons and daughters of, or children of, more specifically. Ites means children of. So Israelites are children of Israel. Moabites are children of Moab. Ammonites is children of Ammon, so on and so forth. All right. So Israel. So it says, and again, I'm gonna read it one more time. Genesis chapter 32, verse 28. "And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed." And so this is how you find the definition. So the definition of Israel is prince of the power. All right. So now what the next one we're going to do is on the board. We're going to do Edom. Edom. All right. So just to get back to just to finalize Israel. Israel is the nation of the so-called Negroes and Native Americans, primarily in North, Central, and South America, and four corners of the earth where they have been scattered. All right, so that's the nation of Israel, including Hispanics as well. Okay, so and that's pronounced Yasharala. You know what I mean? Okay, so the next one is Edom. Edom is Adawam. Adawam. All right, that's how you say Edom. It's Da Wam. All right. gonna go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 30, while the brother writes that out in the Assyrian and the Paleo. But Genesis chapter 25, verse 30 says, "And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. All right, for I am faint." And that's why, and then it says, "Therefore was his name called Edom." All right, his name was called Edom because Adawam means what? Means red. All right, so essentially, the people who we call white people or Caucasians, they are truly red people. All right, they are red people. They have reds. They have red. They're red because their blood show forth through their skin. Anytime you see a white person, they get angry. Their face turns red. If they get slapped or something, hits their skin in that area, will turn red. A lot of people, a lot of people know white people to call themselves rednecks. These are all the things that show, why they are the red people that the Bible speaks of. They're not actually white. Of course, everybody can see that. All right. So they are the red people, and that's what the word Adawam means. It means red. And that's why we read it right here. It says Genesis 25 and 30. "And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom." All right. And then you get to Genesis chapter 36, verse 1. It says, "Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom." All right. So this is just showing you that Esau is Edom. You understand? So Esau is Edom. So when you talk about white society, so-called white society, you're talking about Edomites or children of Edom. All right. Now, Kazak Shapar, if you could just go up and check and make sure everything is correct. We've already confirmed that the English is correct. Just make sure the Syrian and the Paleo is correct. All right. So, like I said, in Genesis chapter 36, verse 1, it says, "Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom." So the generations of Esau became the Edomites, or the children of Edom. You know what I mean? So, even if you go to Genesis 36 and 8, it says, "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir." You know what I mean? This is where when the Lord split everybody up, split all the nations up, he put Edom in Mount Seir. You know what I mean? This is where they were put. And it says, "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir." Esau is Edom. Okay, so Edom is in the Hebrew is pronounced Adawam. And Edomites are the sons of Edom, or the children of Edom. And Edom, of course, is the children of white society, or the white so-called white society. So, I'm gonna put it right here, real quick. I'll put it in this one. It should be able to work. So, is this one better? So, Israel, or Yasha'Allah, is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. All right, these are the descendants of Israel, or Yasha'Allah, and then Edom is what?
White. Esau. Edom. So-called whites.
The so-called white society. All right. All right. So you know this society to be the Italians, the Germans, the Russians, who else? The Swedish, the Irish, Denmark, Australian, Russian. All of those are different sectors of Edom. You understand? Just like Israel includes what? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, or more specifically, black people who are Negroes, Hispanics, including like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Guatemalans, Hondurans. So it goes on and on. Native Indians, and that's all inclusive to Israel. So every white society, is all inclusive to Edom. Okay. So the brother has A-Da-Wa-Ma. So it's A-Da, the upside down connectors when they're pronounced independently. So A is pronounced independently, Da is pronounced independently, and Wa and Ma are connected, becoming Wam. So it's A-Da-Wam. And that's what we see here, A-Da-Wam. Okay? Assyrian, we have A-Da-Wa, and the Ma here, it looks like this because when Ma comes at the end of a word, this is the character that you use. And this bottom line down here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, which are the Ka, the Ma, the Na, the Pa, and the Za. If those characters come at the end of a word, then you use these at here. You use these instead of using these up here. All right. So that's good. So you can draw a line underneath that. Who was the last person to go up? All right, Shalom, Thomas. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Barakatah. We see you in there, Most High in Christ. Good work. Okay, so is you up next? Okay, so of course, like I said, Esau or Edom became the so-called white man. All right, next we have Moab. Moab became what? The so-called Chinese. Correct, Doc. That's correct. The so-called Chinese man. Of course, because of mass deception and hiding and the lies, all the names have been switched up so that you and us and you and I all together are unable to pair these people today with these people in the Bible. But because we've done the research and we see the scriptures and we have the Spirit of the Lord, we're able to make those connections. That's why we have the 12 tribe chart. That's why we have the nations chart, and we're able to point and connect those people who are today nations to those nations that are in the Bible. And today, the nation of Moab, or the Moabites, are considered the Chinese man. That's correct. That's Moab. That's correct. That's it. M-O-A-B. And Moab in the Hebrew is Mawa-Abba. Mawa-Abba. Okay. Abba. Yep, Abba. Okay, look like you got something incorrect right in there. Mawa Abba. So it has to be an A after that W.
Oh, that.
Mawa Abba. So A-H, and then the Ba. Alright? Mawa Abba is how you say Moab in Hebrew. Alright? And again, these nations that we're naming, so at the top is Israel. Israel is the Lord's chosen people, right? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, those are the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. Everyone else that we're listing underneath that are not the chosen people, are the Gentiles. You understand? According to the Bible, or our enemies. You understand? These are our enemies. These are the Gentiles. Which Gentiles, in most cases, means a non-Israelite. Okay? Moab or Mawa'aba is the progenitor of the so-called Chinese people today. And I'm gonna get down to the scripture in Genesis chapter 19. Give me 1 second. Genesis chapter 19, Salakia. All right, so Genesis chapter 19, verse 37 says, "And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day." Right? So the Moabites, or the children of Moab. Okay? Moab is a Chinese man, so-called Chinese man today. And if you go into that scripture, you will see that the Chinese forefather, who is Lot, had sex with his daughters. You understand? Had sex with his daughters. Lot had sex with his daughters, and they had babies, and they had a child, and that child was named Moab. And just like any baby who's a product of incest, there's a great possibility of birth defects or what's another word for it? Down syndrome. You understand? Things like that. And as you can see, Chinese people have the chinky eyes and their big heads, and they all look deformed. You understand? They all look deformed. That's because they are a product of incest.
That's right.
You understand? So if you read 36 says, thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. You understand? Then you get down to 37. And the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bare a son and called his name Benami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon until this day. So the next one we're going to get into is that Ammon. So Ammon and Moab, I'm just write Chinese right here real quick.
You don't see it, I don't know.
I may be spelling Chinese wrong. Did I spell it right? Chinese?
And it's the same.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the same one I got.
I'm sorry. Right here.
Yeah, that's right. Chinese. Okay. So Chinese, Mawa. No, you had it right the first time.
Come on, yeah. I'll tell you, you don't see it. It's like,
Mawa.
Yeah,
Abba.
you had it right. Abba. A-H.
Mawa.
paleo. That's not slap.
All right. So we're gonna have Trooper Shar come up and just check his Assyrian and his ancient to make sure it's correct. So we're on Moab now. Moab is the son of Lot, who became the progenitor of the so-called Chinese people. Like I said, if you get into the history, you go into Genesis chapter 19, verse 36. It says that the daughters of Lot were with child by their father, and one had a son whose name was Moab, and he became the father of the Moabites, and one had a son whose name was Ammon, and we're gonna get into Ammon next. Okay, we're gonna get into Ammon next. So it looked like the brother might have found a mistake, so you're gonna go give him an opportunity to change it. All right.
Let's see, Ma, it's the paleo, Ma, Wa, Ba. Let's do it again, Ma, Wa, Ba. It should be in the Salaki, sir. Salaki, up. There we go. These independent because those are standing out by themselves. They want to get pronounced by themselves. Ma, wa, ba. Okay, so we go to the to the Assyrian. We got the ma, we got the wa, the and the ba. Come on, come.
All right, that's correct. Okay, so that's the Chinese. Okay, that's the Chinese nation, Moab or Mawa'aba, which is the progenitor of the Chinese, the Moabites. Okay, so now let's go ahead and erase Edom. Erase Edom, and then right in where Edom is, you're going to write Ammon. Okay, Ammon. And when you go into Psalms chapter 83, when it talks about the nations that lifted up the head, and it says the tabernacles of Edom. You understand? So of course another word for tabernacle is house or home. So when it says the tabernacles of Edom, it's talking about the house of Edom.
Where they live.
You understand? The house of Edom. More like the tree, the family, you understand? The family of Edom or Edomites. So the house of Edom, and it says Moab, you know what I mean? The tabernacles of Moab, the tabernacles of Ammon, and so on and so forth. This is naming all of those nations of people who plotted against the nation of Israel, or those so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
It said Ammon, Salaki.
Yep, that's correct. Ammon, A-M-M-O-N. Okay, and like we just read in Genesis chapter 19, it says, thus, Genesis 19 and 36, it says, thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. 37, and the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father. Hold on, Salagi. All right, 37. And the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. 38. And the younger she shall also bear a son, and call his name Banami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon. You understand? Which is what we're writing up there. And Ammon in Hebrew is what? It's going to be I-Mawan. I-Mawan. Yeah, I-Mawan. That's correct. That's correct. Let me give the opportunity for somebody to ask. Just raise your hand. All right. So Ammon is in the Hebrew is going to be I-Mawan. That's pronounced I-Mawan. What the brother has up there is correct. So we're going to give him an opportunity now to write it in the Assyrian and the Paleo. And then when you get done, you can just write. The brother had just wrote it. What the brother Trooper Kazak answered is correct. Ammonites are today the so-called Japanese. The so-called Japanese. So essentially, the Japanese and the Chinese have the same father. You understand? The same forefather, who is Lot. And Lot, like we just read, got his daughters pregnant. One had Moab and one had Ammon, and those two became the progenitors of the Chinese and Japanese nation. Too big.
I think so. Because it's, it's bigger than other letters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'd make it smaller or something.
That thing look good. Look like artwork up there, man. Ooh, look at it. That boy said it look good up there. That said it look good.
All right. So you got Moab. Oh,
Japanese.
huh?
Oh,
Japanese. Yeah, you can put it.
With this one?
Yeah, you can put it all right here. Here you go. All right. So we got Ammon, which is I-Mawan. I-Mawan is the name of Ammon in Hebrew. This is the brother has I, he has the Ma, he has the Wa, and the Na. So the I is pronounced independently, the Ma is pronounced independently, and the Wa and the Na become one with the connector. That's correct. So we have I, Ma, Wa, and then the Na. So the Wa and the Na in the Syrian, when you have that Na in the end, look exactly alike to some degree. Alright, so we got the Wa right here, which is like I said right here, which looks like exactly what the brother has. And then we have the Na right here, like I said, which comes at the end of a word, what looks exactly the same. Alright, so that's how you would know. So if you see that symbol at the end of a sentence, you know it's not a Y, it's a Na. Alright, so that is correct. And that's the progenitor of the Japanese. Alright, just put right here Japanese. I don't know if it's spelled right. Okay, who cares? You know what I mean? Japanese, alright? That's Japanese. This is brothers of Ammon. Of course, these two right here are brothers, Ammon and Moab. Their mothers were impregnated by their father. So they're both They're both products of incense. Moab and Ammon. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and get the next one up. Yeah, let's go ahead and erase Moab now. Erase Moab. Of course, again, you see at the top, Shalom, Parah Shah, Yahweh Shema, Tabashim Yahweh Shah. Of course, you see that Israel is at the top. Israel is the nation of Israel, the God's chosen people, the children of Israel, the lost sheep. Everyone that we're putting under that are Gentiles or non-Israelites by definition. Okay, so the next one we're going to do now is Ishmael. Ishmael is Ishmael. Okay, Ishmael is going to be Yashamai Allah. No, Yashamai. Yashamai. Yeah, it's Yashamai Allah. Yashamai Allah. Alright, and that's how you say Ishmael in the ancient Hebrew. Yashamai Allah. Yashamai. Yashamai.
Alright.
That's correct. Yashamai Allah. Yashamai Allah. Yashamai Allah is Hebrew for Ishmael, and we can I'm gonna go ahead and let me see, make sure you all right, that's correct, Doc. So you can go ahead and get us the two translations right quick while we go ahead and get a scripture for Ishmael of where his origin is. So Ishmael comes to play in Genesis the 16th chapter, right? So Genesis the 16th chapter says, verse 11, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. Okay? So the Lord hath heard thy affliction, and if we go down to verse 15, it says, and Hagar bare Abram a son. So Abram had a son. And this was, so Ishmael was the son of Abram. All right? Abram, right? Abram a son. And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. So that's the name that she bare. That's the name that they gave her son, Ishmael. And go down to 16, it says, and Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Okay? Now, if you keep going down, because this is verse 16, if you keep going down, is where we get down to Isaac, all right? Because Isaac also was one of the sons of Abram, all right? Isaac became the father of Jacob, all right? That's Jacob's father. Jacob, who is Jacob again? Jacob's name became Israel, so Isaac is the father of Jacob and the grandfather of the Israelites. All right, to put everything in perspective, and Abram will be the forefather of the Israelites. Okay, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the grandfather, the grandson, the grandfather, the son, and the grandson. All right, all the way down to the Israelites. So that's who Ishmael. So Ishmael and Isaac were brothers. So Yashamai Allah is what the brother has, and we're gonna have a trooper Shar check it after the brother gets done. Make sure everything looks right.
Fringe look nice on you, bro. So we have Ishmael, Yasham, Allah. Yasham Allah. Okay. Independent, together, independent. Let's see. Independent, Yah, Sham, together, Khan. Yeah, that's together. You're just missing one independent connector on this one. Slocky. independent. I, and those I's get pronounced by itself, the I's get pronounced by itself, and the La's get pronounced by itself as well. So we just want to make all those three Independence Day. It's a lot. Yasham Allah, Yasham Allah, Yasham, I Allah. Come.
Alright, so the brother is correct. The Yah is pronounced independently. The Shah and the Ma become Sham. Then we have I Allah, so it would be Yashemai Allah. And then the Syrian is correct. And if you can write underneath that, who are the Ishmaelites?
It's like for Shalom, is the Arabs.
That's correct. Hey. So it's the Arabs, all right? So
Okay.
the Arabs are descendants, or the so-called Arabs are the descendants of Ishmael, okay? The descendants of Ishmael. They are what we would call Ishmaelites, all right? Ishmaelites are the Arabs, and if we read into Genesis, it says, and the angel, again, Genesis chapter 16, verse 11 says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. Verse 12, and he will be a wild man. All right, he will be a wild man, and they did not fall short at all from that definition. Because why? Because Arabs are blowing themselves up. You understand? They're committing terrorist attacks and blowing up themselves and thousands and dozens of other people along with them. They are wild men. You understand? If you play games, we play the Call of Duty, and they got the suicide bombers where they running at you with grenades that they done pulled the pin out of to blow you and them up. You understand? Instead of just pulling out a gun and shooting and killing you, there's such wild people that they will kill themselves and you as well. All right? So verse 12 says, and he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Okay? And this is what we see in the day, you know what I mean? Those are the prophecies we see in the day. Like, you know, all the war in the Middle East, you know what I mean? It's whole been going on for years, you know what I mean? So they are the wild man that the Bible talks about, Ishmael. They're the so-called Arabs. So that's a good work on that one. Let's go ahead and erase Ammon, and let's get something else up there, okay? So Ishmael is the progenitor of the Arabs. It's pronounced Yashemai Allah, or Ishmaelites, which you refer to as the sons of Ishmael, or our so-called Arabs. Okay, and you might want to write this stuff down so you can be able to know when you're reading the Bible, when it talks about Ishmael or it talks about Edom and the prophecy of Edom or the characteristics of Edom, you can see closely how closely accurate they are to the nation they are relative to today. Okay, so the next one is going to be Elam. Elam. Elam in the Hebrew is going to be I-L-M. I-L-M. Okay? I-L-M. That's how you say Elam in the Hebrew. Again, we started off with Israel, who is Yasharallah. You understand? The progenitor of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, or the children of Israel, God's chosen people. All right? And everyone else after that we're doing are the Gentiles, which by definition means non-Israelites in most cases. You know what I mean? All right, so Elam, I-L-M, we're going to have the brother write out in the Assyrian and in the ancient. While he's doing that, we're going to get Elam in the scriptures, okay? Elam. Elam, we go down to Genesis chapter 10, verse 22. It says, the children of Shem, Elam and Ashur and Arphaxad and Lud and Aram. Okay? These are the sons of Shem. Of course, Shem is the son of Noah. So Noah has a son named Shem, Ham and Japheth. Shem is the father of Elam. Elam became what? Became the father of who? The East Indians. That's who Elam is, the East Indians. You understand? Not the feather, but the red dots. Okay? They ask you who you with, red dot or feather. They talking about whether you're native Indian or native North American Central Indians, or you're a red dot, which means East Indian because they have the red dots in the middle of their heads, or in the middle of their foreheads. Okay, so that's the East Indian. So it says Shem, the children of Shem, Elam being one, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. Okay, so we can back up. Okay. All right. So we have there the Arabs. Ishmael is the Yashama'ala, and we have Elam, which is Ayalam, who is the East Indians. So let's go ahead and erase Ishmael now. Okay. The next is going to be Japhet. That's correct. Japhet. All right. Japhet. You understand? It's going to be Yapath. All right, that is correct. Let's see. Oh no, that's it. Yapath.
With H?
Yeah, you got the H. Yapath.
Not that H.
No, not Yapatha. Yapath. There we go. All right, Yapath. Okay, now we got the brothers right. Yapath in the Assyrian and in the ancient. All right, while he does that, we're gonna get into the scriptures and read about Japhet. Okay, Japhet. Okay, and when you get a chance, we're gonna change the spelling of the English because in the scriptures it's J-A, even though you had it right, but it's J-A-P-H-E-T-H. All right, so it's Japhet. Okay. Okay, we're gonna read about him in Genesis. Let's see. Actually, give me a second. All right, Genesis chapter 10, verse 1. Genesis chapter 10, verse 1 says, Now These are the generations of the sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, so we said Shem was one of the, we just named one of the sons of Shem, which is who? Elam. All right, now we're talking about Japheth. Japheth is one of the sons of Noah. All right, Japheth is one of Noah's sons, one of Noah's 3 sons. Okay. Now it says Noah, the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood, okay? And then it goes into all of the sons of Japheth: Gomar, Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tabal, and Meshech, and Tiras. All right, then it goes into sons of Gomar, and it goes into the descendants of Japheth, all right? But Japheth, nonetheless, is one of the sons of Noah. And what the brother has up there, let's go ahead and, Shar, if you would like, just make sure everything is correct. I mean, we want to make sure brothers understand, iron sharpen iron. So we're going to get brothers to, correct one another. That way we can both all learn together, If there is a mistake, we could just all learn together. So we're going to see if the brother finds a mistake. And if he doesn't, then the Most High in Christ. That means they both are correct.
Most High in Christ. Everything looks, Kala Tuwab, all Tuwab, everything Tuwab.
Okay. All right. And
Yah, Path, and that's connected with the Path. Yah independent, you got the Yah, Pa, almost like hangman, but that's the first characteristic of that Pa, and the Tha.
Right.
Everything looks Tuwab.
What was that supposed to be?
You got that part right there. Hold this part right here. You got the banana clip right there.
They tell him banana clip right there. I can't.
I love it.
All right. So that is correct. Now, who is the Japheth the progenitor of?
White people say they're white, but that ain't it.
Right. We definitely know they're not the white man. Edom is the progenitor of the so-called white man. So Japheth is the progenitor of, is the father of the so-called Polynesians. Also, not only the Polynesians, but the Eskimos, and the Samoans, and the Hawaiians, and the Aborigines in Australia. All right, so these are all of those, sub little nations that people rarely speak of. Those little small little nations. The Polynesians, the Eskimos, the Samoans, the Hawaiians, and Aborigines in Australia. Okay? The brother's not going to write all of that out. You, of course, if you're watching this, you can write it down, rewind the video if need be to catch all that. I'll say it one more time. Yapath or Japheth was the father of the so-called Polynesians, the Eskimos, the Samoans, the Hawaiians, and the Aborigines in Australia. Okay? Let's go ahead and get Elam erased off the board. Japheth, of course, is one of the sons of Noah, one of Noah's sons. Okay?
Polynesians, Samoans.
Aborigines in Australia
Yes.
and the Polynesians.
Oh, Polynesians.
Polynesians. All right, so next we got good old Ham.
Ham. Slice of ham.
Good old Ham. No cheese.
No cheese. All bacon.
All bacon. You understand? We got ham. Ham in the Hebrew is going to be chum. Chum. Alright. Chum. Sound like you biting a piece of the apple out.
Yeah, right.
Chum. Alright, come. Okay? Now we're gonna have the brother write out ham in the Hebrew, the Syrian in the ancient, while we go pull up the first mention of Ham in the Bible, who he is, right? And we just read it just a while ago. But it's the same thing. Genesis chapter 5, verse 32. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, and go down to 6, Genesis 6 and 10, it says the same thing. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, we just read about it right now, where it says, where we talked about Japheth, and we talked about Elam, who is the son of Shem. So all 3 of these brothers, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, are sons of Noah. Ham, more specifically, became the progenitor of who?
Africans.
That's correct. The Africans. All right. That's who Ham is, the progenitor of the Africans. And we're gonna because they're so extensive, we're gonna get into that after this. But we're gonna have Trooper Qadash go and correct the brother and see if there's anything that's wrong that can be changed. If it's right, of course, if he's able to say it's right or wrong, means that he understands and knows it himself, and that the brother, if it's right, then the brother is right as well.
It's all correct. Only thing I would do, I make my M's different.
The M,
Make like
and that's more accurate to what it is on the board. That upside down or that W, however you want to call it, is definitely more separate from that wing that comes down. But nonetheless, there's not any characters that look similar to it, so it would still be able to be interpreted. But that is, so you're saying everything is correct.
Con.
All right, the brother is correct. All of what the brother has up there is correct. He has the ka and the ma with the connector underneath, which means that the ka and the ma become one word, which is come. He has it in the Syrian as well, the ka and the ma. He has the ending ma at the end of that word, because of course when it comes at the end of a word, you have to use that ending character. So that is correct. And just like we said, Ham is the progenitor of the Africans. So when you talk about Africans, you're talking about Hamites. Okay? So when you go into, like I said, we get into Psalms 83, when it talks about Ham, it says, when it talks about the other nations, you're able to put it in perspective who the Bible is talking about and how it correlates with reality and history as we know it. All right? Because the Bible is very accurate, the most accurate history book in the face of the earth. Okay? All right, we can have the next brother come up. You know what I mean? Okay. So the next one that we're going to have, let's see. So next one we're going to do, we're going to get into these African tribes. Okay? So the African, Ham is a progenitor of the Africans, just like Israel is a progenitor of Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, or just like Esau or Edom is a progenitor of the white society. But even in that, there's tribes in those nations, all right? Just like the Bible says, it'll give those other nations 12, just like as unto the Israelites, right? So Ham has 12 sons, all right? It's like it. And Ham has sons, and their names are Mizraim. So Mizraim is Mizrayam. Mizraim. And Mizraim. All right, and then the Hebrew for that is Ma-Tazar-Yum. Us like Ma, that's correct. Ma-Tazar-Yum.
correct.
All right, yep, Ma-Tazar-Yum, that's correct. All right, so the brother has that up there, Ma-Tazar-Yum. While he's working on that, we're gonna go down now. You understand where it says it's in Genesis chapter 10 verse 6, where it gets into what the sons of Ham. So the sons of Ham in verse 6 says, the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Phut and Canaan. And then it goes to the sons of Cush, and then it goes to Cush begat Nimrod. And of course, we talked about Nimrod. Nimrod is the son of Cush, and we'll get into Cush a little bit later. But right now, we're talking about Mizraim, and who is Mizraim, and who are they today? Who is Mizraim today? Okay. So if anybody online that's watching wants to take a guess on who is Mizraim today, so-called today, go ahead and write it in there while the brother is writing out the Assyrian and the ancient Hebrew. Okay. Mizraim. And I'm going to give you a hint online. This is an African tribe. This is an African tribe, to narrow it down. Because this Mizraim is the son of Ham, and Ham is the progenitor of the Africans. Okay? So this is an African tribe, Mizraim, or Matazarian in the Hebrew. Okay? Now we're going to have the brother go up right quick and just check the spelling. Trooper Shah.
Okay.
Just to check the spelling and see if the brother is correct and accurate. Matazarium is the word. Mizraim, it could be Mizraym, or it can be Mizraim. Is how it's pronounced. I mean, how it's spelled in the Bible.
Yum. Okay, you got the Ma independent, you got the Tazar together, connected together. You got the Yum connected as well, A plus. As the Syrian, you got the Ma, you got the Tazar, you got the Yup. That's right, the Tazar. You got the Ra, and the Yum as well. Kawakan.
Alright, let me see right quick. Okay, Ma, Tazar, Yum, that's correct. Ma, pronounced independently, Tazar, Yum, okay. Ma, Tazar, Ra, Ya, Ma. Okay, alright, that's all correct. So anybody has guessed who Mizraim or Tazarium is?
Oh, I know it is.
Go ahead.
Oh, sure.
Chuba Kazar.
Should be Egypt.
Okay, that's correct. It's the Egyptians. The Egyptians are who Matazarium is. The Egyptians. Shalom, okay? The Egyptians. Alright, and while the brother is writing that out, I'm going to read from the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary the definition of Ham. It says, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor, which means father of, the dark nations, or the dark races. Not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and Canaanites. Okay? So Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites are all sons of Ham. Ham is the progenitor of the Africans. Mizraim is the Egyptians. Okay? So the brother is correct. Throw out for erasing the top one. We're gonna have the next one brother come up, and let's go ahead and do the next nation, the next Gentile nation up there. Okay. Okay. So after Mizraim, we have Canaan. Okay, Canaan. Alright, Canaan is C-A-N-N-A-N. Alright. C-A-N-N-A-N. And the Hebrew for Canaan is Canaan. Canaan. Ain, na. how you say it in the Hebrew. Now the brother's going to write it in the Assyrian and in the ancient. While he's doing that, we're going to go back to look for Canaan. We just read it just now, because of course this is another son of Ham. So it says in Genesis chapter 10 verse 6, and the sons of Ham were Cush and Mizraim, and Phut and Canaan. You understand? All right. So those are the sons of Ham: Cush, Mizraim, Phut, and Canaan. All right, or Canaan in the Hebrew. All right. But what actual tribe is this, or what actual nation is this? It talks about Canaan. Who are these people called Canaan? Who are they today? Somebody guess online, or if you know, just give us the answer. If you know in the room as well, you can take a guess at it.
Is it the Canaan? Is it the South Africans?
Mm-hmm.
The South Africans?
That is correct. What the brother has said is correct. Canaan or Canaan are the South Africans. South Africans. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and have the brother come up and check the brother and see if his translation is correct. Maybe call it out for us. Step on the side and just call it out for us, and let's work through it.
Ka independently. Na independently. And it's Ion. It's together.
Okay.
Ion. So that's correct.
Okay.
Then you have a Ka, Syrian here.
Okay.
You got a Na.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it smaller, but it's super. And then the N. Is that a long N? The long one? Not sure.
The ending.
The ending.
Right. So that's that's na when it comes at the end of a sentence.
I just make it longer to make sure, so it won't like a wa.
Either way, if it was a wa, then it would, it would definitely. I understand what you're saying. Like we talked about the wa and the na look the same. So it could very much well be a y at the end. You know what I mean? But it's not. It's a na. In some cases, right, you can write it longer. You know what I mean? How it's written on the board is a little bit longer in the alphabet when it's in the handwritten.
Hey, you so all the way down there.
Right. Boy made a cane.
Make sure.
A walking stick.
Yeah.
It is. Ka, Na, An. So that's correct.
Alright, Most High in Christ. So let's go ahead and erase the bottom one. And what we're going to do from now on, we're just going to have whoever goes up to write the next one just to erase it before the next brother comes up. Alright, so Canaan is the South Africans. Alright, so the brother has it spelled right up there. Canaan is one of the sons of Ham. Okay? Alright, so the next one we're going to do is Cush, which we also just have read about in Genesis, right? So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 10 again. Genesis chapter 10 verse 6. Let's go ahead and see. Let me write it in here. Cush. Okay. And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim and Phut and Canaan. So we already done went over Mizraim, who was the Egyptians. We've already covered Canaan, who was, of course, the South Africans. Now we're doing Cush, which is pronounced in the Hebrew, Kawash. 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 And that's exactly what they need to do. They need to wash. They need to wash.
Is that right?
Right, that's correct. Kawash.
Yeah.
Alright? Maybe if they kawashed a little bit more, then we would be, the world would be a better place. Alright, but the brother's going to write it out in the Syrian and the ancient Hebrew. And it's going to, while he's doing that, like I said, we're going to read a few more scriptures about Cush. Alright? And it says, and we go to Genesis chapter 10, verse 7. And the sons of Cush. The sons of Cush were Seba and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabteka, and the sons of Ramah, Shabah, and Dedan. Genesis chapter 10, verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. All right, we just had that breakdown on Babylon, the Babylonian Empire. Nimrod was the ruler of the Babylonian Babel, or the Babylonians. Nimrod, and now we've learned that Nimrod is a son, one of the sons of Cush, and Cush is the son of Ham. All right, so that would mean that if Ham is the progenitor of the Africans, Cush is an African. But what African is it today? What are they called today? What are the Cushites called today? Anybody can take a guess at it. Anybody want to guess? You can take a guess while we're guessing. If you could just erase that top one. Erase that top one.
Come on, man. You got monopoly crazy.
Go ahead, just erase it right quick. If anybody wants to guess, who are the Cushites? You want to guess?
Come on, Ethiopians? Is it?
That's correct, Doc. You understand? We had to break down the Babylonian Empire. We know that Nimrod was the son of Cush, and like the brother just said, Cush was an Ethiopian, which makes Nimrod a what? Ethiopian. Okay, so Babylon was ran by an Ethiopian. Okay, now let's go ahead and check the spelling, if you could, just walk us through it.
K.A. For the paleo, we got the K.A. right here, independent, pronounced independently. Get all of that out, the Ka. With the Wa, we got Wa getting pronounced independently, but it got sh on the end of it, so you gotta put that together. So that's gonna get the connected, the wash. So that Wa was almost independent, but that Sha got him. So that's gonna be connected with the Assyrian. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's lucky. Get that little hair bow up there. It's a little hair bow. You got it in Assyrian. I look at Assyrian like the cursive handwriting because it looks more cursive than this right here. It's a curse. So we got the K.A., we got the Wa, and the Sha, which pronounced Kawash. Kamakan.
Alright, so that is correct. What the brother has is correct. Kawash, and that is the Ethiopians. What the brother's writing up there now. You understand? Hopefully everybody has good eyes that's watching. He wrote it, you know what I mean? It looks, you know, we gotta get up close to see it, but it's Ethiopians nonetheless, alright? So now, Ethiopians, okay? So those are Africans as well. You know, they are sons of Ham, okay? So, like we just read about Cush, Cush begat Nimrod. Nimrod became a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. So when it came to the Ethiopians and the Egyptians and the South Africans, they were all against the Lord and his people. Right. Of course, we know that Israel was in captivity under the Egyptians. They did us terribly in Egypt, had us build their city, no different than America is doing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians terribly today. And we're building up America. We have built America, and we still continue to add on to the growth of America today. But just like Egypt was destroyed, and the Egyptians were destroyed, and Babel was destroyed, and those people were confounded. The same will be the same will be for the Americans or white society or Edomites for class purposes, teaching purposes. Edomites will happen to them today, and their time is coming soon. All right. So next, what we're going to do is foot, which is P-H-U-T. All right, foot. We just read about as well. All right. So we just read about foot. Foot is what? Who is listening? Pay attention.
Yes.
Go ahead, Trooper Shaw. Trooper Kazak.
Yeah, I believe foot is the North Africans.
Well, no. Well, who is foot? Who is foot relative to?
African.
Who is foot in the Bible? Like who is he?
One of the children of Ham.
That's correct. That's the answer I was looking for. Foot is also another son of Ham. Okay, so of course, yes, he would be an African as well, because Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Canaanites, the Ethiopians, the Egyptians, and the Libyans, and so on and so forth. All right, so in Genesis chapter 10, verse 6, and the sons of Ham again, Cush and Mizraim and Phut and Canaan. Let's go ahead now and get the translation. It's Pawat. Pawat. Okay, so when you read about foot in the Pawat. When you read about foot in the scriptures, you know this is talking about Africans as well. All right, and we're going to later on at the end have everybody write in the comment section and take a guess on who are the Footites today. Who are the descendants, and what do they call themselves today? Or what do we call them today? Everybody can guess in the comment section. I mean, no, everything is welcome, even whether it's the right answer or the wrong answer. When we get to that portion, we'll have somebody answer it and see if it's accurate or not. Okay, so foot, which is Phut, and the Hebrew is Pawat, is one of the sons of Ham. Okay, Pawat. All right, as soon as you get done, I'll just erase Cush down there for us. Baruch Shah. Again, the only nation that the Lord chose was the nation of Israel. Every other nation are called Gentiles because they're non-Israelites. Okay? Or our enemies, in other words. Because they definitely are our enemies. Every nation that we're talking about right now, whether it's Phut, whether it's Mizraim, whether it's Cush, or Edom, they all have done treacherously or negatively against the children of Israel. And we see that still today in America. So it's definitely something that everybody should see and understand. So you'll be able to understand that Bible a lot better, knowing who these people are. And also just knowing these things will help you to see how relevant the Bible is and how non-fictional or non-theological or theoretical it is. It's a very real book and very real history, and these things help put it in perspective, knowing who these people are in the Bible are associated with today. All right, so we got the brother making some adjustments here. After he gets done making those adjustments, we're gonna have Trooper Kazak Shapar come up and do a final correction. Okay, you confident?
I'm confident. It's just I want to make it so good for the people in class.
Okay.
It's a lot.
I know sweat.
Let me check my connectors. Kai.
Alright, we got Trooper Kazak Shapar up to the plate, making these corrections. We got the cap out for the black marker.
Oh, it's on the back, is it?
And it's on the back. Alright. Let us know, walk us through it. Nice and loud.
It's a P there, so
You gotta stand on the side. We can't see it, you gotta stand on the side. Or either side, just not right directly in front of it.
Pa.
Alright. You said which one is that?
It's a P for Pa.
Uh-huh.
It's independently pronounced.
Okay.
And then you have a Wa, and the Ta sound has to be pronounced together for Wat.
Alright.
Pa Wat. Then you have a P there, and the Syrian, Wa, and then a Ta sound, so that looks correct. Pa Wat.
Okay. Okay, alright, so the brother is correct. Everything is correct. Now, who Who are the Foothites today? Go ahead.
North African people?
No.
African people, no?
It's more specific.
Oh, people in people in Algeria and all those areas?
Anybody else want to take a guess?
Well, they say it's in the same tribe as Canaan, Foot, and so it's somewhere in Africa. We got the Ethiopians out the way. Is it not? It's not Nigerian, is it? But we got South Africa out the way. That was Canaan.
Okay. So the answer for this question is the Libyans.
Libyans.
All right, the Libyans.
Oh, Libya, yes.
All right, in Libya. All right, the Libyans. So the Libyans are today foot. Are in the Bible foot. You know what I mean? It speaks about in Genesis the 10th chapter and some other places in the Bible as well. All right, and those are the Libyans when it talks about foot or Pawat. Okay, Libyans. All right. So Libya or Libyans. All right, that's correct. Okay, now let's go down to the next one. Next one is going to be Gomar. This is Gomer. Okay. So Gomar in the Hebrew is going to be Gamar. Gamar. You can read about Gomar all the way from Genesis. From the beginning, it's Genesis. That's correct, Doc. So if you can get us that Syrian and the ancient, while we break this down about who Gomar is or where he's at in the scriptures. Gomar in Genesis the 10th chapter, verse 2, is the sons of Japhet. Gomar and Magog and Madai and Javan and Tabal and Meshach and Taraz. Okay? Then it also goes down to the sons of Gomar on verse 3. And then it gets down, talks about Gomar and Chronicles as well. And all the way down to Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 6 says, Gomar and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Okay? Many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto thee. Alright, so we're going to get into that, talking about who Gomar is. And if anybody wants to take a guess, towards the end, we're going to figure out who Gomar is today. What are the names that they call themselves today? All right. Now, Trooper Bashar come up, make a correction, see if there's any corrections need to be made.
Alright, so we're gonna start off with the paleo. First we're gonna get the word and the English and Hebrew Gamar. That Ga is getting pronounced independently, you get all of that. That right there is independent, you got the Ga independent, and you got the Mar. It consists of the Ma and the Ra, but it's Mar, and that's connected, so that gets that. So the paleo is 100, so the Assyrian, Gamar. You got the Ga, he got the Ma, and he got the Ra. That makes it Gamar.
That's correct. All right. So the brother is correct. He's corrected it. We got the paleo, which where you see that P written. Paleo means ancient. And you see where it says the A, which is Assyrian, and everything is correct. So now, who is Gomar? or Gamar? Who is this?
Okay.
I can answer this. Should I?
Khan, if you want to,
The Assyrians.
La'ah. It's not the Assyrians. It's not the Assyrians. Who are
Russians. Should I?
Russians? La'ah. But you're in the right ballpark now. I give you a hint. It is one of the white tribes. One of the white tribes. So Russians is one of the white tribes, but this is not the Russians. Who is this?
I would take a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
I know Hosea.
Gamar.
Married to a Gomer.
Let me tell you
On my
what.
head, I know this ain't it.
I don't know what her name though.
Let me tell you, he was married to a Gomar.
I think her name was Gomer. But that might not have been her tribe though.
Anybody online want to take a guess? Who is Gomar today? What is this so-called name today?
You almost said it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
The
I was about to say Switzerland.
I don't know. Probably Russian style.
Poland, blah. The Australians was the other one where it was
That was original.
which one that was? That was with the
That's one that
Hawaiians
Yeah, that was
and the Eskimos.
that was part of Jacob.
It's a fact.
I don't know who Gomer is.
All right, so the Gomar or Gamar today will be considered. He's like, nah. He's like, hold on. What who is that? Nah, it's the French.
Okay.
France. That's who it is. France. The French. Okay? That's who it is today. The French. Oui, monsieur. Bonjour. France. France. Okay? So that's Gomar or Gamar in the Hebrew. And who wrote that? Oh yeah, you checked it already, right? You checked it.
Come on, come.
Alright, Most High in Christ. Alright. So now what do we have next? Another Gentile is going to be Magog. Magog. M-A-G-O-G. Magog. Okay. And in the Hebrew, Magog is Magawag. 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 Alright, that is correct. Alright, so the brother gonna do the paleo and the Assyrian. While he does that, we're just gonna go resort back to the scriptures about Magog and see who it is and what the Bible says about him, where they introduced that in the scriptures. Let's go here. Okay, so we're gonna get into this. So we have Genesis chapter 10 verse 2. The sons of Japhet. Gomar, all right, who we just said is the French, and Magog, which is who we're writing right now, and Madai, and Javan, and Tabal, and Meshach, and Tiraz. All right, so when we get down to, let's see, verse Ezekiel chapter 38, it says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog. So what does it mean when it says set thy face? So what does it mean when it says son of man? We went over this already. What does it mean, son of man? Can you let him out? What does it mean when it says son of man? Who is the son of man when we talk about the scriptures? So we got Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 2 now. Ezekiel. It says son of man is speaking to you. Who is son of man?
Is that us?
Are you answering?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's your answer?
Children of Israel?
Children of Israel. That's correct.
Yes, sir.
So when it says son of God, son of man, son of man, Salagi, no, I'm incorrect. Son of man, right? Oh, it's Salagi. That is correct. Son of man, right? Set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. All right. So that's correct. So of course, these people are also people who are against us. They are Gentiles. They are our enemies. Who is Magog? After you make sure that's correct in spelling right there. Just
Okay.
make sure that spelling.
Ma
Mhm.
is an independent sound.
Mhm.
Sorry. And the Ga, it's also an independent sound. So that's right there. And you have the Wag. So you have the Wa and Ga. So you have to connect them together.
All right, that is correct. Now that looks correct. Now what about the Assyrian?
The Syrian, the Ma looks right. Ga, Wa, and Ga. That looks correct. Ma, Ga, Wa, Ga. Ma, Ga. Looks correct.
Okay, so they got the Ma, the Ga, the Wa, and the Ga. All right, perfect. That is correct. So now, who today is Magog or Magawab? Go ahead.
Is that the Russians?
That's correct, Doc. It's the Russians. You understand? The Russians, or another white tribe or nation. Okay. All right. So that is correct. And just like we read, Magog is one of the sons of Japhet, who is one of the sons of Noah. Okay. Now let's go ahead and have the next brother come up. Malcolm Shah.
Oh, that's right. My turn. Oh, okay. That's right.
All right. So the next one is going to be let's get Javan, who we just read about. Javan. Javan. No, you gotta take the I out. There's no I in there. All right. So Javan in the Hebrew is gonna be Yawan. Yawan.
One.
Yawan.
I was saying, y'all young or something.
That's correct. All right. So let's get in the translation. Genesis chapter 10, verse 2. The sons of Japhet, Gomar, who we just found out are the French, and Magog, who we just found out are the Russians, and Madai, who we have yet to find out, and Javan, who we're writing about now. Javan. So Javan is also the brother of the French and the Russians, so far we know. But also both are all of sons of Japheth, who was the son of Noah, one of Noah's sons. All right. So while he's writing that out, we're gonna get more scriptures on that.
Distinctive.
Make sure they
Okay. You done up there? Okay. Let's go ahead and have the brother check that.
Wow. Javon. Yawan. Yah-wan. Yah is getting pronounced independently. One. Let's see. Paleo, Yah is getting pronounced independently. One. Connected. It's correct for the Paleo. The Assyrian, you got the Yah, One, Kamaka. It's Tuali.
Everything is Tuwab, so we got the Yah, got the Wa, and the Na connected, one. And then you said the Assyrian is correct too, the Yah, the Wa, and the Na. Alright, look at that Wa and that Na again together. So, they look kind of the same, but one is longer than the other. So, alright, so we're gonna erase that. While he's erasing that, I'm gonna have a brother's guess who Javon is. Hey, Javon. Who is this?
It's like a second, I guess. Is it the I'm taking Shana dog. Is it the Italians?
I'm gonna take
Go ahead.
the Grecians.
That's correct.
Greeks.
Yep, that's correct. It's the Greeks. The Greeks are the Javanites. The Javanites.
Greece.
Right.
Javanites.
Sons of Javan.
The Greeks.
Alright, and it talks about the Javan and the Greeks and First Maccabees in the 8th chapter. So we read First Maccabees, the 8th chapter, it talks about the Grecians and how the Grecians were determined to come and destroy the lands that they were in at that time. Which is talking about, what is it? Let's see, verse 5. Battle Philip and Perseus, king of the Sidonians, with others that lifted up themselves against them and had overcome them. How all Antiochus, the great king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots and a very great army, was discomfited by them, and how they took him alive and covenanted that he and such as reigned after him should pay a great tribute and give hostages, and that which is that which was agreed upon, and the country of India and Media, which you can also read more about when we talked about like the colonial empires and different, something another the Midianites, and Lydia and of the goodliest countries which they took of him and gave to King Eumenes. Moreover, how the Grecians and had determined to come and destroy them. All right, so if the brother is correct, it's the Grecians or the Greeks. Okay, now let's go ahead and erase. Well, no, you already got erased, so we already checked it. So let's get the next name. All right, so the next name is Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz. So it's Ash, A-S-H, Kenaz is K-E-N-A-Z.
Easy.
K-E.
Check.
K-E-N-A-Z. Okay, Ashkenaz. So in the Hebrew, it's pronounced similar. It's Ash. It's Ash. Ash. Kanaz.
That's pretty decent. I even say it's pretty simple.
Ash Kanaz.
Cause Kanaz.
So let me see where your hand is at, cause I can't see it. So it's Ash. So it's A-H-S-H. Ash. Ash. Kanaz.
Kanaz.
Mm-hmm.
Kanaz.
Mm-hmm.
Kanaz. Kanaz.
Kanaz.
And this is us. Kanaz.
Kanaz. Alright, Ash Kanaz. That's correct. Alright, now let's go ahead and get that. Now that the brother has the pronunciation and the spelling, now he can be able to translate it into Syrian and the Paleo. Ashkenaz. We're going to read about Ashkenaz in Genesis chapter 10. Ashkenaz. KJV. Ashkenaz, Genesis chapter 10, verse 3. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz and Repath and Tagarma. Those are the sons of Gomer. And who is Gomer again, progenitor of?
Gomar was the progenitor of the
Everybody know or remember?
Gomar.
That's France.
That's correct. It's the French.
Okay.
Understand? It's the French. That's correct. So Gomer is the progenitor of the French, but Gomer, one of Gomer's sons is Ashkenaz and Repath and Tagarma. So right now we're talking about Ashkenaz. So if he's the son of the French, then who is this? What line is he under, and who would he be today? All right, everybody think about that for a second while he gets the Hebrew put up. Ashkenaz.
2 A's. No. I'm gonna get it. There's 2 ways, actually 3 ways. That's independent for sure. Gotta got all the end in that A right there. That might. I'm just go with it like this. Shaka. I'm gonna add Shaka together. And then Nas, I'm gonna put that together. It looks decent. Shakana, Ashakana, Ash. And Ash is together though. Ash. Kana. Then that mean that right there. And right there. And
Finally, we got one that's stumping the brother. Most High and crazy. You coming up here all scholarly. Now you got him stumped right now. He up there now.
Ash.
Got him on his toes.
Yeah, I don't get it though. Ash. See, that's all together, but then the A right there, but Ash. But the Ash sound good together. The Ash sound good together instead of Shakan. Shook. Ash.
So look at what you have right now with the connectors. Pronounce what you have with the connectors.
I got Ah.
Uh-huh. Shock.
Shock.
Okay.
I-S-U-P-K.
Okay.
Nas. I-S-U-P-K.
Okay, so let's take it slow. So you got
Ah.
and then you got the sha and the ka connected, which becomes shock.
Mm.
Is it shock up there?
That's what I'm saying.
Is it shock? Do you see shock? Is that shock right there?
Shook. Shock. Shaka.
Shaka, do you see shaka?
Shaka. Ka.
Do you see shaka? Do you see shaka or do you see shock? Do you see any of those? Just look at it. Don't, just wipe your mind right quick.
That's what I'm saying.
Just look at it, you know what I mean? And think about what you're saying.
Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz. Ash. So that Ash is together, huh? Yeah. So I'm gonna read it like I get. So that's shock. Shaka. So it's not shaka. Shaka. And then the nas. Ashkenaz. Ashaka. Now, shaka, because the A get took out of the shak. Ashkenaz. Then again, the A-I, and well, that's all together. But if I put that sha with ash, the ash do sound good though. The ash, kanaz, and then if I put that together right there, I got that kanaz. That ka-now will be together, and that za, but then again, that za don't have the A at the end, so that would have to go with something. Ash, independent, no. Ash, ka, independent. The K-A might have to get independent. If that's together, the K-A, independent, Ash, ka, and okay. We'll try like that. Ash, ka, nas. Ash, ka. That ka is getting pronounced by ka, and nas. Final answer.
Alright, we're gonna have a trooper Kazak Shakar go up and check it and see if it's correct.
Good. I like that.
Yes, it's correct now. It's Ash is pronounced together. Because it's Ash, Ka, Nas. So it's Ah tied together, Ka by itself, and Nas tied together.
And so that is correct. That is correct. So the brother finally got it.
Correct.
And get it absolutely correct. So what about the Assyrian one?
That's an A. That's a Sha. Ka. No, Z. That's correct.
Alright, no sign of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Got one that got him on his toes. Alright, so now the most difficult part. Who are the Ashkenazites? Who are the sons of Ashkenaz? Who are they today? Go ahead.
Weren't those the fake Jews over there in Israel?
Nah,
Or is it if they came to the French, the Germans?
that's correct.
Germans.
That's
Oh,
correct.
then they'd be the fake Jews.
That's correct. You can put
Germans?
Germans up there. The Germans. Ashkenaz. The Germans are the sons of the French, or Gomar or Gamar in Hebrew. Alright? Germans.
Germans.
Good job, brother. Okay? Now, okay? Now, we're going to get the next one. The next one is going to be, this is going to be easy. Spain. so Spain in the Hebrew is going to be Tharash, Yash.
Ya.
Yash.
Correct.
That's correct. All right, now go ahead and translate it for us. Romans 15 and 24. Okay, give me a second. All right, Romans chapter 15, verse 24. Whensoever I take my journey into Spain, I will come to you, for I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company. All right, so this is talking about Spain, and this, like I said, this is it's obvious. This is talking about the Spaniards. You understand that inhabited Spain, or that are descendant to Spain. All right, which would be considered the Rosh Yash. The Rosh Yash, which is Spain. Okay, the brother's gonna write out the ancient Hebrew and the Syrian Hebrew.
So it's the Rosh Yash.
Yep, the Rosh Yash. That's correct.
How you pronounce that again? The Rosh Yash.
You tell me how you pronounce it. You got it spelled up there.
What did you say? The Rosh Yash?
What does it say? What you mean? What did I say? What
The
does
Rosh
it say?
Yash.
Okay.
The Rosh Yash. The Rosh Yash. Correct.
All right, let's have the brother go up there and check it and see if it is right. The Rosh Yash.
Spain. The Rosh Yash. Paleo. The is getting pronounced independently. And we got the Rosh. Rosh is getting pronounced together. Then we got the Yash. The Yash is getting pronounced together as well, so it has the both of those have the connectors. The Rosh and the Yash is connecting, almost like English ing, but it's not ing. The Yash, Rosh, Yash. Alright, and then the Assyrian, we have the Ra, Yash, the Rosh Yash. COMCAST.
Most High Christ. All right. So just write Spaniards underneath that, so everybody know who these people are. Of course, these are the people of Spain. Spaniards. Who, of course, the Spaniards are white society, so-called white society as well, and they are the ones who colonized our brothers who are called today so-called Hispanics or Spanish. You understand? Our Mexicans and all of those tribes in the South Americas, South and Central America. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, last but not least. Well, I guess it is least, but they are least in the kingdom.
Right.
So it's gonna be Kittim. 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 And we just read about Kittim as well in Genesis 10th chapter. Kittim. Kittim, and the Hebrew is going to be Katayim. 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 All right, that is correct. Katayim. Now, brother's gonna do his thing. He's gonna do it in Assyrian. Put it in Assyrian and put it in the Paleo. All right. So just so we can see here, Kittim in the Bible comes in at Genesis 10 and 4, and it says, "And the sons of Javan, Elisha and Tarshish, Kittim and Dodanim." So who is Javan again?
Greeks.
That's correct. So
Greeks.
that's correct. So the Greeks, this is one of the sons of Javan, Kittim. So he's a descendant of Greeks. And who could this be? This descendant of the Greeks.
The sons of the Greeks.
Okay. Let's first have the brother come up and check your Hebrew. What I made this. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The paleo is independently connected. Ka, the tha sound is correct. Then yam, yam connected together. That would be correct.
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
all correct. All right. Next we have
The Syrian, you have a ka, okay, and you have a tha. That's the symbol for tha. And you have ya, and the ending for the M would have to be correct. So it's ka, tha, yam. That would be correct.
all right. That is correct. So our brothers, both of these brothers are correct. Learned in the Hebrew. Now, who is Kittim to end the class?
Well, it gotta be some.
Can I guess? Slide. I need this. I need it. Even if I'm wrong. Is it the Italian?
That is correct. That is correct.
So you needed one.
He needed one. He got it. He got him one. Italians, Italy, Kittim. You understand? So of course, once you begin to formulate this family tree, you'll be able to see in close relation of how the close relation of these nations and these tribes, and also how they what's the word I'm looking for? How they basically what I'm trying to say is their involvement with the nation of Israel, like what position they played against the nation of Israel. So you'll be able to see. And like I said, I use that Psalms chapter 83 all the time, because it talks about they are confederate against thee. And it talks about all those nations that are confederate against Israel, who being Israel being the blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. And it lists those nations, and amongst those nations are Edom, Moab, Ammon, the Hagarenes, the Philistines, and all of those are today. We just went over most of them. You understand? The white society, Chinese, Japanese, and they all came together with one consent to make sure that the name of Israel was in no more remembrance. And that concludes today's class for the Friday Lashawan Qadash. We had an I.S.U.P.K. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York City, under Commander General YAHANNA, established in 1969, but not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We teach the truth according to the Bible, that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the Israelites according to the Bible. All right, and that concludes the class. Shalom.